Hello, Auburn City Council. My name is Austin Gervais, and as many of you may know, I'm an active firefighter at the Auburn Fire Department. I'm here today to speak to all of you about fire prevention. We all know this is a small town in Maine, and frankly, we are behind the times as far as infrastructure, economy, and technology are concerned. But with that being said, there are changes we can make as a community to help prevent fires and fire-related injuries to our neighbors and loved ones alike. I hope through speaking to you today, I can raise awareness to those with the power to make a difference right here at home. In 1947, President Truman announced a national conference on fire prevention after several concurrent years of preventable fire-related deaths that were over 10,000 nationwide. It was at this conference that Major General Philip Fleming, the general chairman for the conference, stated, "I believe the key to fire prevention problems are education, enforcement, and engineering. We need widespread education in the methods of fire prevention and control, more adequate laws and their rigid enforcement, and better engineering to make buildings fire resistant." The 3 E's, so to speak, have been the foundation of fire prevention ever since, and it has remained as relevant as ever, even decades later. Since then, however, many experts have added 2 more E's to the equation with economic incentives and emergency response. Now, I realize the City of Auburn may not be able to offer these economic incentives without the help of the state government, but I hope that after this meeting, you all may be able to help me get the ball rolling with key state officials. I also realize that with Maine being as rural as it is, with our unofficial state motto being, "You can't get there from here," this poses many challenges for emergency response that I know is already being put through the state via first responder representatives. That being said, let's focus on the original 3 E's. We all know fire prevention has evolved to much more than just fire suppression. Our goal is to be proactive rather than reactive. This has been implemented to most fire stations across the country and has since that first national conference on fire prevention and has seen great success. This success can be seen all around us. Think about the education that Smokey the Bear has offered for generations of children, or the fact that we all have smoke detectors in multiple rooms in our homes. Experts estimate that fire-related deaths would be doubled year after year if it wasn't for the presence of smoke alarms. There's much more work to do, however, with the continual production of new household chemical products that can be found in all of our homes, as well as various technologies such as the lithium battery. This is where not only continual education, but engineering and enforcement come into place. As a society, we must continue to find alternatives to flammable material wherever possible, and must continue to fund fire prevention related programs that offer inspections and enforcement. Fire resistant building materials have come a long way and continue to make strides in new constructions. It is our duty to help make those affordable through incentive programs, so builders are not tempted to use more combustible building materials. In addition to this, fire safety codes are constantly being updated, and we must continue to offer local fire agencies the funding necessary to enforce these codes. Right here in Auburn, Fire Prevention Officer David O'Connell leads a team of 11 public officials in the county to offer fire inspections and enforcement to the new and existing buildings. In a great example of enforcement, Officer O'Connell requires all new constructions to have fire department access, appropriate turning radius, fire lane information, road grade information, the fire hydrant locations, whether the building has fire department sprinkler head connections, the fire flow requirements of the structure, appropriate means of egress, and fire and life safety plans accompanied by the building's blueprints. It seems like a lot of information to have before the inspection even happens, but this is what true fire prevention looks like, folks. Officer O'Connell's diligence, paired with companies such as Culadas Painting, who offer fire-resistant painting services across the state, is how we begin to keep Maine safe. Builders can take fire prevention even further and use companies like TC&A Labs to submit samples for fire ratings of various building components. This lab has the ability to test for ignitability, flame spread speed, overall fire resistance, and more. They mainly use the horizontal burning test, the vertical burning test, and oxygen index method to find these results. These results, as well as the findings of the fire inspections, must comply with the National Fire Protection Association, or the NFPA, 101 code, which is widely adopted nationwide. Unfortunately, Auburn is host to many unsafe structures. Just think of how many homes and historic sites that were built in the 1700s and have not been appropriately updated to today's fire prevention standards. Another source of fire hazards is the population boom we have seen since the beginning of the COVID epidemic. We have seen a surge of residents coming to the area and have had builders working around the clock to provide apartment buildings and condos in areas that were already densely populated. The quickness of these constructions and their locations should make us all a little nervous. As long as our community continues to support our fire prevention efforts, including those that may not always be seen by the public, we can defeat these dangers with the help of Officer O'Connell's strict inspection rubric and the continual enforcement efforts by his team of peers. Thank you.